Let me ask you something honestly. Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you work, no matter how much effort you put in, money just doesn't seem to stay with you? Maybe you've tried budgeting. Maybe you've tried thinking more positively. Maybe you've even looked into manifestation or mindset work. And for a moment, it feels like things might change. But then something happens. An unexpected expense, a missed opportunity, a setback you didn't see coming. And suddenly, you're right back where you started. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Because for most people, the problem isn't effort. It isn't intelligence. And it's not even about discipline. There's something deeper going on. Most people believe that financial struggle is purely external. They think it's about the economy, their job, their circumstances, or even bad luck. And while those things can play a role, they don't explain why some people in the exact same environment with similar opportunities seem to move forward effortlessly, while others stay stuck for years. So what's the difference? It comes down to something most people never consider: your internal state. Every decision you make, every opportunity you notice, every risk you take or avoid is influenced by how your mind is operating beneath the surface. Not just your thoughts, but your patterns. Your reactions, your level of awareness, your sensitivity to opportunities. Think about it like this. Two people can be in the same room, hear the same conversation, and walk away with completely different outcomes. One notices an opportunity. The other doesn't. One takes action. The other hesitates. One moves forward. The other stays stuck. It's not random. It's not luck. It's alignment. But here's where it gets interesting. Your brain isn't just processing information logically. It's constantly responding to signals, subtle patterns in your environment, rhythms, repetition. Even the kind of input you're exposed to daily. These signals shape how you feel, how you focus, and how you respond to situations. Over time, they create a kind of default state. And once that state is set, you don't have to consciously choose struggle. You naturally fall into it. This is why so many people feel like they're trying everything, but nothing really changes, because they're focusing on surface-level actions. While the underlying patterns stay the same, it's like trying to change the direction of a car without touching the steering wheel. Now, here's something most people overlook. Your environment isn't neutral. You're constantly surrounded by inputs, sounds, information, stimulation that influence your mental state in ways you don't notice. And over time, those inputs can either support clarity or create noise. When there's too much noise, your brain becomes reactive. You start making short-term decisions. You miss subtle opportunities. You feel overwhelmed more easily. And that state quietly reinforces financial struggle. On the other hand, when your mind is clear, stable, and focused, you begin to notice things differently. Opportunities stand out more. Decisions feel easier. You act with more certainty. And small shifts start to compound, not overnight, but consistently. This is where most advice falls short. It tells you what to do, but not how to create the conditions that make those actions natural. Because when the conditions are right, you don't have to force discipline. You don't have to chase motivation. You simply move differently. So instead of asking, what strategy should I use to make more money? A more useful question might be, what state am I operating from every day? Because that state determines everything that follows. Now, this doesn't mean external factors don't matter. They do. But they're not the starting point. They're the result. Your results tend to reflect your patterns, and your patterns come from your internal state. If your default state is stress, distraction, and inconsistency, then even good opportunities can slip through your fingers. But if your state shifts, even slightly, your behavior begins to shift with it. And that's where change actually starts. This is also why some people describe success as feeling easier over time. Not because they're doing less, but because they're no longer working against themselves. Their decisions are cleaner, their focus is sharper, their actions are more aligned. And over time, that creates a completely different financial trajectory. So if you've been struggling with money for a long time, it might not be because you're doing the wrong things. It might be because you're trying to force results from a state that isn't supporting you. The good news is, states can change, not instantly, but gradually. And once they do, everything built on top of them starts to shift as well. In the next videos, we're going to explore this deeper. We'll break down how different internal patterns are formed, what influences them, and how small adjustments can begin to change the way you think, act, and respond to opportunities. Because once you understand that, you stop chasing random solutions and start focusing on what actually moves the needle. If this made you look at your situation a little differently, make sure to subscribe to the channel, because we're going to keep building on this step by step. And if you want to explore the specific approach that inspired this explanation, including how certain audio patterns are used to influence mental states, you can find more details in the link in the description and in the pinned comment. Take your time, go through it carefully, and see how it connects with what we discussed today. I'll see you in the next video.